Okay, for slide 1, this analysis used reflexive thematic analysis following from Brown and Clark's framework. An inductive semantic level approach was adopted and it's focused on participants' explicit meanings and sense making rather than their latent or theory driven interpretation. The analysis progressed through familiarization with the transcript, semantic manual coding across the dataset, and the initial grouping of codes into provisional patterns of meaning, corresponding to phases 1 to 3 of thematic analysis. Reflexivity was actively maintained throughout, and as a clinician working outside addiction and recovery services, I took care to avoid clinical, diagnostic, or moral framings of relapse. Analytical decisions prioritised the participant's own language, interpretations, and experiential accounts rather than my own professional assumptions. Okay, moving to slide 2, the initial codes. Initial coding focused on capturing meaningful features of the data, which was relevant to the research question, and service users' experiences and perceptions of repeated relapse from recovery. Early semantic codes included experiences of relapse as an internally driven psychological process, feelings of shame and self-blame, fear of judgment when re-engaging with services, and a perceived loss of personal agency. Codes also reflected temporal and process relevant elements such as relapse beginning before substance use, cyclical patterns of recovery and relapse, and recovery being described as a continuous and effortful process. At this stage, codes remain provisional and overlapping, and reflect analytical openness rather than fixed categorization. On to slide 3, the initial themes. From these early codes, several provisional themes were identified. First, relapse was understood as an internal psychological process, often beginning cognitively and emotionally rather than solely through substance use. Secondly, repeated relapse was framed not only as failure, but as part of a learning process within recovery, contributing to insight and self-awareness over time. Third, experiences of shame and self-judgment emerged as central, shaping both relapse experiences and engagement with support services. And finally, recovery was described as a form of identity reconstruction, involving ongoing changes in self-understanding, values, and responsibility. These themes are exploratory and will be refined through later phases of thematic analysis.